Too much technology is bad. Why is it too much technology is bad? Almost of all people uses technology in our daily life, but not all the users of technology is using this good and in a proper way. For example, other people uses technology for destroying others people life. Like on Facebook, they create another account but they use your name and information, and that's what we call a poser. But not only on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, and other social media accounts. Your education is affected because it has a direct effect to your grades. Why technology is bad for our education? For me, it's not bad if we are using it on studying. Because technology helps me at times. I need to research on my assignment and other stuffs. But it will be bad when you use it every time and you forgot to study or to do your assignment. You spend too much on Facebook, Twitter, or etc. That's okay when we use technology, but we need to know the correct time and handle it correctly, so it does not affect our lives and our education. How it affects our education? Because of which we can do things that can destroy our learning. Most of our students are destroying learning because of this. For example, playing online games such as Dota, League of Legends, and other online games. Most of all students becomes addicted, so they can do cutting. So much of the students fail to understand it because of it. So please use it correctly to save lives and to save our education. To wonder if we are being too reliant on technology, where we are getting to the point where we are lazy and don't want to put the effort for anything. Is technology our friend or enemy? Should we be so dependent on it to solve and do everything for us? I just don't know. I think we are getting confused with convenience and selfishness, meaning that we are taking advantage of technology because of its conveniences. I believe we should use technology to help everyday living and to make everything more productive, yet not so much as to do work and do our everyday problem solving. We should take care of our responsibilities. For example, having the television or we machine, babysit and or spend time with our family. We should physically spend time and get involved with other people. We should manually read a book or actively put in the foot work to solve a problem. But instead we access the internet to answer or to solve a problem. We should be allowed to improve our technology, but not to the extent where it physically and physiologically worsening our lives. Hence, making us more lazy and extra reliant on its technological advances. It's okay to make things more accessible in our everyday lives, but not so selfishly to the point we don't want to do anything. Too much technology. Do you think that more information managers receive, the better their decision? Well, think again. Most of us can no longer imagine the world without the internet and without our favorite gadgets. Whether they're iPads, smartphones, laptops, or cell phones, however old through, these devices have brought about a new era of collaboration and communication. They also have introduced new concerns about our relationships with technology. Some researchers suggest that the internet and other digital devices are fundamentally changing the way we think, and not the better. Is the internet actually making us dumber and have reached a point where we have too much technology, or does the internet offer so many new opportunities to discover information that is actually making us smarter? And by the way, how do we define dumber and smarter in an internet age? Wait a second, you're saying, how could this be? The internet is an unprecedented source of acquiring and sharing all types of information. Creating and disseminating a media has never been easier. Sources like Wikipedia and Google have helped to organize knowledge and make that knowledge accessible to the world. And they would not have been possible without the internet. And other digital media technologies have become indispensable parts of our lives. At its first glance, it's not clear how such advancements could do anything but make us smarter. In response to the disagreement, several authorities claim that making it possible for millions of people to create media, written blogs, photos, videos, has understandably lowered the quality of media. Bloggers very rarely do original reporting or research, but instead copy it from professional sources. YouTube videos contributed by newbies to VideoCam. Nowhere near the quality of professional videos, newspapers struggle to stay in business while bloggers provide free content of inconsistent quality. Similar warnings were used in response to the development of the printing press as Gutenberg invention spread throughout Europe. Contemporary literature exploded in popularity and much of it was considered mediocre or by intellectuals of the era. But rather than being destroyed, it was simply in the early stages of fundamental change. As people came to grips with the technology and the new norms governing it, literature, newspapers, scientific journals, fiction, and non-fiction all began to continue to the intellectual climate instead of detracting from it. Today, we can imagine a world without a print media. Advocates of digital media that history is bound to repeat itself as we gain familiarity with the internet and other new world technologies. The scientific revolution was galvanized by peer review and collaboration, enabled by the printing access. According to many digital media supporters, the internet will usher in a similar revolution in publishing capability and collaboration, and it will be a resourcing success for society as a whole. This may all be true, but from a cognitive standpoint, the effects of the internet and other digital devices might not be so positive. New studies suggest that digital technologies are damaging our ability to think clearly and focus. Digital technology users develop an inevitable desire to multitask, doing several things at once while using their devices, all through TV, the internet, and the video games. Are effective at developing our visual processing ability. Research suggests that they detract from our ability to think deeply and retain from information. It's true that the internet grants users easy access to the world's information, but the medium through which that information delivered is hurting our ability to think deeply and critically about what we read and hear. You'd be smarter, in the sense of being able to give an account of the content. By reading a book rather than viewing a video on the same topic while texting with your friends. Using the internet lends itself to multitasking pages are littered with hyperlinks to other sites. Tab browsing allows us to switch rapidly between two windows, and we can surf the web while watching TV, instant messaging friends, or taking the new phone. But that constant distraction and disruptions that are central to